Someone farted right after that and we laughed. So
the lady, are you telling your story yet?
No, that was it.
I don't know why. So my mother is very generous and charitable person, and I recall because my parents went through a divorce, so I was kind of like hanging with my mom a lot growing up as a kid, from like a young age. But basically, my little sister had a teacher named Miss E, and my mom was trying to help her out because she knew that she was in a tough spot. And we went over to her house to do yard work and stuff. And for some reason, I remember we were walking through her house, and there was a hot tub in the middle of her house. And I'm like, what? Why is there a hot tub in here? And Miss E had her mother, who was a very old senile lady, just kind of sitting in a chair, decrepitly sitting there. And I'm like, why? This is so weird. I don't know why. I just remember that. And also, there's a ton of cats all over the place. A ton of cats. And it's always stuck with me. I was like, why is there a hot tub in the house? That's weird.
So to finish up this Q&A, I think the best revenge is the one where you don't it's not so spiteful as it is like showing up the person, going all right, well, here I am now in a better place, take that type of thing. So I guess to answer your question that you asked 15 minutes ago, it would be, whoever it would be to show them up and be like, haha, take that, person of doubt. But interesting question. I don't think we've ever gotten that one before.
I think the best revenge is not to put them down, but to lift yourself up.
Yeah. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for coming out to our podcast panel. Hope you had fun. Windy City 2018 is we're in the last day, so yeah, thank you all for coming out to it this year. We had a blast for sure, and still got the rest of Sunday to go. So you all have a great rest of your convention, and thanks again for coming out.
Following that, we did Keeping Friendship Magic, We're Not Flawless. Was hosted by Forward Progress. Whole bit is no pony's perfect. We still seek greatness in ourselves and those around us. Basically kind of going over the shows, the lessons, and trying to teach us. Was presented by a social science major who definitely had gone through a lot of hard times himself. So kind of knew what he was talking about and knew how to present it in a really great way. He did clips from the show. Was really great. So definitely look forward to seeing him again at other conventions and seeing what else he has, because the panel's name for this one was Keeping Friendship Magic, We're Not Flawless.
afternoon, Windy City!
Yay.
Yay! Welcome to Keeping Friendship Magic, We're Not Flawless. My name is Forward Progress. I am a social scientist from Pennsylvania who made the wonderful 12-hour trek through all kinds of toll roads to get here so I can talk to y'all about science and friendship. Yay! If you haven't been to a Keeping Friendship Magic panel, basically what I do is I fuse social science and social concept with the lessons we learn from My Little Pony in the hopes that we can all kind of learn a little bit more about how to take what we've seen on the show and bring to reality. That song we just watched gave me the spark to make this panel. I had wanted to do one about a couple of these concepts for a while, and then that episode aired, and I'm like, thanks, M.A. Larson. You gave me something to put this together with. I tell you, I think it's my job to just bug Mitch every time I see him too. So what we're going to talk about today is about the concepts of perfection, of how we have expectations not only of ourselves but of others. We're going to talk a little bit about how we interact with our heroes and role models. We're going to talk about the concept of redemption, which is a huge, huge theme of the series. So we're going to start right away with talking about something that I believe in truly, and it's my belief that I start every single one of my Keeping Friendship Magic panels with, and my belief is that bronies have the power to change the world. Anybody else agree with that? Yeah. One. Thank you. I got one. But I've been studying fandom for a few years now, and I've presented at anime conventions, I've presented at pony conventions, and one thing that I really feel is that there's a lot we can learn in fandoms and fandom interactions that we can use to bring to the broader scope of our world to learn how we can get along together better and solve our kind of big real-world problems that are a little bit bigger than who is best pony. So, we're going to start talking today about this concept of flat out, no pony is perfect. And we really got this in season 4, all of season 4. So let's kind of have a little breakdown.
I've been reading our journal, and there's something interesting about the sections that Discord bookmarked. Applejack, do you remember when you had to tell every pony that the tonic Granny bought from the Flim Flam Brothers didn't really work?
How could I forget? It was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. I hate to disappoint every pony, but there's no way Granny could have made that dive because this tonic is a fake. But in that moment, I knew I had to be honest. I just knew it. But what's that got to do with opening the chest?
I found that each of you has had to face a situation where living up to the element of harmony you represent wasn't easy. Fluttershy, it was when you realized that the way to show kindness to the Breezies was by forcing them to leave your home.
Oh, the looks on their poor little faces. But I knew that as difficult as it was, pushing them away was the kindest thing I could do.
Mary, even after Surrey took advantage of your generosity at Fashion Week in Manhattan, you didn't let it cause you to abandon your generous spirit.
I simply couldn't have lived with myself if I didn't do something special for the friends who have always been so generous to me.
Rainbow Dash, you had the chance to fly with the Wonderbolts at the Equestria Games, but instead you chose to compete with your friends.
Sure, but being loyal to my friends was
You realized that seeing your friend laugh was more important than proving you were a better party planner than Cheese Sandwich.
Best party I've ever had!
All of you had tough choices to make, but when you made the right one and embraced your element, it helped some pony else make the right choice too.
The thing about season 4 is, let's face it, if everyone was perfect, if every pony was perfect, season 4 wouldn't even exist. They never would have opened the chest. They had to overcome some kind of difficult choice. And we're all going to have that. Everyone at some point in life faces a difficult choice, and it's hard to figure out, what should I do here? What is the right call to make? And sometimes it feels like there's not a right call to make, and you really have to dig down in yourself. And sometimes you're going to mess it up too. Let's talk about Rainbow Dash, for example. Rainbow Dash starts off, going with the Wonder Balls and really just ignoring her friends entirely, ignoring Bulk Biceps and Fluttershy for the relay, and completely kind of like letting their training go downhill, so to speak. And only when she realized, like what she was doing, and she had to make that difficult choice, and deep down in, that she was able to kind of do the right thing. Granted, if she would have said right away, hey, I have this opportunity, that could have gone a whole other way. And that's one of those things about learning what to say at the beginning. I want to talk about another episode. We'll dig a little deeper into One Pony's episode in season 4 that I really feel sums up a lot of that, having to make difficult decisions and not knowing right away which one to make.
Charlatan sold my granny a bottle of tonic, and now she's up acting like a filly again.
What's so bad about that?
If she keeps gallivanting around like a yearling, she's apt to drop from exhaustion or worse. What's more, I know for a fact that your friend here is dressing up as a different pony every night so he can pretend to be cured.
Oh, well, that's quite an accusation. But let's say that it's true. Hypothetically, theoretically, as I understand, your granny was a famous aqua pony. The star of the show once upon a time. But has you said so much as a hoof in the water since?
Until today, that's right.
Well, then even if our tonic were nothing more than a mixture of apple juice and beet leaves, hypothetically, theoretically, the fact is that Granny is happier now than before she tried.
I guess.
So, the question is, do you really want to be the pony who takes all that happiness away?
There you are! I've been looking all over. Did you find out what's in the tonic?
Honestly, Apple Bloom, as long as it works, I don't suppose it really matters.
Everyone makes mistakes. Every single one of us. We try so hard to live up to this idyllic expectation of ourselves that we want to be perfect in every situation. And the flat out reality is, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna make a mistake. If you were here for Friday's panel, I discussed Moon Dancer and Mending Fences, and how Twilight really didn't necessarily do anything wrong in the series premiere by leaving to go, because she had to, else Nightmare Moon would never have been stopped. We found that out in the season 5 finale. However, there still was that pony that she hurt, and she had to own up to the fact that her actions have consequences. And that's one thing we all kind of have to keep in the back of our minds, is regardless of how much we try to strive for perfection, do the right thing at all times, every once in a while, we're gonna slip up. Doesn't mean that you can just be like, oh, it's okay if I slip up all the time, I'm just gonna make every mistake in the world. You probably won't have too many friends if you just let yourself feel like that. However, it's important to remember that you are going to slip up. And every time you do, it's to take count of that and what it means to your personal growth in your future. The most important thing about us is that human beings have the capacity to better ourselves, to learn from our mistakes. And that is the most crucial thing we can all do, is when you make your little mistake. For example, Applejack here, in that, like, oh, I'm just gonna let this slide, and let this be. She learns later how much of a mistake that was, and we're gonna take a look at that.
I hate to disappoint every pony, but there's no way Granny could have made that dive, because this tonic is a fake. But you gave it your stamp of approval.
Are you saying you lied?
I am. I didn't mean to, but every pony seemed so much happier. I couldn't bring myself to tell you when I found out the tonic wasn't real. I know it was wrong. I just hope with time I can win back every pony's trust.
But if the tonic is a fake, then how come Granny can swim again? And what about all that acrobatic stuff we just did?
I reckon sometimes you can forget what you're capable of, and it just takes a little extra confidence to remember that it was inside of you all along.